It's time for the Nebraska Baseball Coaches Show.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Evans swings and he hits one hard to right. Nelson back to the track, to the wall. It is gone! The second two-run homer of the inning. This one courtesy of the senior out of Grand Island, Cole Evans. The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC. Morgan brings it in. Tyler Stone rips one to right. That's hit deep, and that ball is gone. Tyler Stone ties us up at 4. A 3-run blast to right. Stoney into the bullpen, and it's a new game here in Lincoln.
Dice comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called outside corner, and Casey Dice able to work around the 1-out walk and hangs the 0 in the top of the 8th inning.
Overbeek deep to right field, way back and way out of here. It's off the light pole in right field. A solo shot for Joshua Overbeek, and it's 10-2 Huskers.
Now with Will Bolt. Here's your host, Greg Sharpe.
And welcome to our baseball show for the week. That baseball coach Will Bolt with us for the entire hour. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. The Huskers coming off of a weekend series victory over Iowa. Before, Coach, we get into the ball bats and all the theatrics from the weekend. Bad storms came around here Friday that affected the start time of your game. That's minimal in the grand scheme of things, but the Elkhorn area got hit really hard. I know you have some players from up in that area. Is everybody in the baseball team okay?
Yeah, first of all, it kind of puts, again, baseball in perspective. I mean, we're sitting there Friday. The sirens start going off. We're in our pregame preparation down in the Alex Gordon facility, and you look outside, and the sky is green. And, you know, we go up there, and you see the clouds rotating above. We had already heard that there had been a tornado that had touched down right by the airport. So that's pretty close to the ballpark. Yeah. And just very eerie feeling to be kind of right in the middle of where those funnel clouds were coming down. And but to answer your question, I think luckily, the immediate family members and staff family and those type of things, probably everyone knows somebody that was affected by it. But luckily, it sounds like there are no casualties as well as kind of what I'm hearing. So yep. Obviously very devastated about all the destruction that it caused, and just the trauma that it's going to create for some of those families in those communities. So we're obviously behind all of them, and we're thinking about them. You know,
so many people in the baseball community up in that Elkhorn, Bennington area, because you recruit all those kids.
Yeah. And
so you know a lot of the high school coaches and all that. So I'm sure at some point in time you're going to hear about somebody that did get affected.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see the videos of the tornado crossing the interstate, and then headed towards Waverly, and then all those areas up, like you said, up towards the Elkhorn, Gretna, Bennington areas. It's just man, those things they're scary when they get going, and you always have the threat of the severe weather, when you've got the high and low systems. And I feel like I'm a meteorologist now because of how often we have to check out the radars, it seems like, with home games, especially in April. But man, it just, when those two systems hit and those things build up, man, it gets scary.
This was not on the planned script tonight, but how about what have you observed of the youth coaching, the travel ball coaching that the kids in that Omaha metro are getting year in and year out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just getting better and better. There's more high school programs. Even back 20 years ago when I was playing at Nebraska, there were not nearly the number of high school teams. I think the popularity of the sport has just grown and grown. I think if you've seen some of these really good players from UNO and Creighton and Nebraska from 20, 25 years ago start to give back to the communities, and they're coaching. They've opened facilities. They've got young kids that are involved in the game. I just think especially for the population of the state of Nebraska, it's not huge compared to other states. So, but the number of Division I baseball players that come out of the state is enormous, and that's a credit to, like you said, the youth organizations, the club organizations, the high school coaches, and just the sheer talent that's coming out of the state. It's pretty impressive.
Does your recruiting philosophy start at home and then work out? How would you phrase it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you have to identify the best players in your state first and foremost, and see, there's a lot of things that go into that. Is it a fit academically? Is it a fit socially? Is it a fit culturally? Is it a fit? Obviously, talent's the first thing that you have to look at. and is it a need on your roster? So absolutely, we start in the state of Nebraska. We really want to keep those kids here that grow up coming to our ballpark, coming to Husker football games and Husker sporting events, and maybe have parents that went to Nebraska. So we start there in Nebraska, and if all those things align, then we start talking about offers and getting guys on visits and those type of things. But we definitely start here and then work our way out. And we have contacts across the country, and kind of a unique thing with our lineup this year. We've got and at some point in times in our starting 9, we have guys from 9 different states in the lineup.
Wow.
And but we've had anywhere from almost up to 50% of our roster from Nebraska, and it just kind of depends on the year.
Well, you had some flexibility this weekend with moving game times because Iowa bust. I think a lot of people probably surprised you got all 3 games in.
Yeah, well, again, especially considering what happened on Friday afternoon, early evening in the state, the fact that we were able to play a baseball game is pretty incredible. We didn't get a ton of rain or really the high winds just where we were, but I think everyone was kind of surprised that game was played. And then, we knew we were going to be battling it on Saturday a little bit. There was some unique circumstances with a lot of different events going on here, with the spring game. Softball had a game going on as well. So and we were on the Big Ten Network. So there wasn't a whole lot of flexibility there to move games around and those type of things. And we really thought that we'd be able to have a 3-hour window to get the game in. And come to find out we did. It's just the lightning got there a little faster than we had hoped it would. And, then you start to have a halted game where you go into the next day and knowing that you have like you said, with Iowa busing, they were going to be willing to stay here. The rule is you cannot start a game after 9 p.m. So we beat that by a few hours, but it was a long day at the park because our guys showed up at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. And at least in the Saturday game, you got deep enough into it where you got a pretty nice start from Mason. Yeah, we did. We got 5 complete innings in, and Mason did very, very well. It was great to see him bounce back against a really, really good lineup for Iowa. They put the ball in play at a really high level. They pressure you with their speed. They hit a lot of hard ground balls, which I thought our infield played outstanding baseball all weekend. But great to see Mason back out there on attack, very confident, the same confident, composed young man that we've seen all year. Really great bounce-back start for him. Much bigger for Nebraska than Iowa because they kind of went Johnny Holstaff. So for you to get 5 1/3 from Mason before they halted it, that was huge. Yeah, it was. And we got in their bullpen, on Friday as well. Yeah. And it was a really good start to the series for us. Coach, we talk all the time about two-out hitting. This team's been exceptional at it. How about the 2-out hits you got all weekend long? And it probably started with Stone on Friday night. Yeah, Stoney really set the tone for us that way, and jump-started us in a time that we needed it pretty badly. I mean, we were, we haven't played the level of baseball. I shouldn't say we haven't played the level of baseball. We haven't gathered the wins that we would like to have had over the last couple of weeks, and some of it just a rough stretch. Some of it, days that we just didn't catch some breaks, but. I'm a strong believer in you make your own breaks in this game, and those type of swings can kind of help jumpstart a team, and you could really see our dugout, the fans, everybody just energized. That 3-run homer was possibly a weekend-changing swing right there where we fall behind early. They're hitting Sears around a little bit that we haven't really seen that much, and so for him to take that swing off a really good pitcher for Iowa, that set the tone for the weekend for us. Take us back through Brett's start. What did you see as you went back and looked through the numbers? Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot different in terms of stuff. I think that they were much more aggressive off Brett than maybe what some other teams have seen. I think that he kind of surprises some teams with his just different array of pitches and the fastball and the location. I think he probably missed a couple of spots in there that we're not typically used to seeing from him. But I know Iowa, they're very well coached. They have one of the top offenses in the league. They had a pretty good game plan going against him, and we made some adjustments with him a little bit later in his outing that allowed him to settle in a little bit. And then I feel like over the course of the rest of the weekend, we made some nice adjustments to what they were doing early in that Friday game.
Well, and then you get some nice work out of the bullpen, kind of finished off by Jalen, but there were some big outs to be had before you got the ball to Jalen.
Yeah, Kyle Freilich has been outstanding for us. He continues to impress. His fastball is really playing well for him, and he's pounding the zone. He's got the good breaking ball going. He's got a changeup he can throw to left-handers. And again, it's just mound presence and attack. Those are things that we preach, talk about. You work on those things in the bullpen as much as you work on, your pitch design. It's a real thing. And it's no secret as to how some guys are having success. And the same thing goes in the box. If we call it hitterish or dangerous in the box, your body language says is that you're there ready to swing with intent. That's a real thing, and that shows confidence. And the guys that are pitching with that right now are pitching at a very high level. And the great thing is we had some guys do that this weekend that maybe needed to rebound after some tough outings.
We've talked about J-Dub the last couple of Monday nights. I can't go by him again. This kid has just become really, really solid for you.
Yeah, he's been amazing, and he's doing it a lot more with the fastball, and he's always had the good breaking ball, but he'll mix in the changeup. He gets the guys kind of feeling like they're late on the fastball, then he can throw those other pitches, and he's just been on attack.
So Stoney ties it at 4, and then you were really aggressive. You pushed the envelope on them, and they made a couple of mistakes, threw the ball around a little bit. I think that was because they knew you guys were being aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what when things are going the way we want them to go, that's what we do to teams. And, we had a big double steal there. I think it was Gabe on the front end, and I don't remember if it was Brumball maybe on the back end of it coming to the plate. Kind of a weird deal. They threw the ball back to the plate. It hit the catcher's mitt and went back, or the catcher's mask and went all the way towards the dugout. I was one thing I wanted to highlight too, in that some of those big moments there was, Josh Caron has been a guy that's caught just about every game for us this year, and boy, he's played about as hard as anybody on our team. And he hits a fly ball, didn't assume that the ball was going to be caught, busted his tail, got to second base. That was just ahead of Cole Evans's double right there that gave us the lead. Ended up being the equalizer for the game, and just that effort right there. That's what you got to have, because when you talk about making breaks for yourself, those are the things you've got to do and the things you can control every day. It's not easy to do that for a young man like Josh Caron, who could give himself all kinds of outs if he wanted to about being tired because he's caught a lot. But he just shows up and punches the clock every day, and that was a huge play for us.
It also showed the importance of replay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was, you can replay that one. There's ones that you can and can't take a look at. Fair and foul past the bag is one you can. If it's fair or foul in front of the bag, you can't replay that. And then the catch, no catch in the outfield is one of them. So I'm glad they got that one right.
Huge. Hey, folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. So then you get to Saturday, and you did start on time. You got through 5 innings. Then the rains came. But Mason McConaughey, who had a bad start, you referenced the fact that he had kind of turned it around. And your offense jumped all over them in the middle part of that game.
Yeah, we got, I think their guy, Savory, who started for them, he'd only had one other start previously, but he was sinking the ball well, had a good movement on his fastball, mixing in a slider as well. And we got a rally going. I think we had ended up executing a couple things in that inning, stolen base and maybe a dirt ball read in there. But and we just really just put the pressure on him again, and some big hits came behind that. I think Rhett Stokes had a huge hit in there, picked up I think it was second and third, one out. We didn't get the runner in, and then he stepped up right away, and stepped up in a big way for Brumball, right? Brumball got dinged up a little bit and wasn't able to play the last couple of games in the series, and Rhett stepped right in the first day and got 3 hits for us, and none bigger than the 2-run single that kind of just ignited us.
So then here came the rains. You got pushed back to about 3:15, 3:20 when you finally got to resume on Sunday. What kind of task was it for the grounds crew to get that field ready to play?
Yeah, there was a lot going on, especially because softball was still trying to complete their game, across the way, and it just. There's a lot of communication that's got to go, into it with the groundskeeper, our event staff, and just we're trying to communicate with Iowa. And, we felt like we had a window right before 11 o'clock. We did all the pregame, and we were just getting ready to start the game. But the thing you run into is you don't want to start and then have to stop and put the tarp back on. You don't want to put the players in that position. You don't want to put the pitchers in that position. So we got out there, and it looked like, man, there's a cell building up. So we have those conversations, and the tarp goes on, and then we're like, oh, man, we're in for it for a little bit. So the rains dumped on us pretty good. And I sat out there in the dugout for about all 3.5 hours while that happened. And there was a lot of water standing on the warning track. The grounds crew did a great job. Our pitchers did a great job. I'll give KP a shout out. Kyle Perry got squeegees going, and Mason McConaughey, I saw him pushing water around. A bunch of other guys, they were really ready to get that water out of there so we could play. But the field held up great, and we've got a brand new sod and infield, and everything held up great after the rains.
Yeah, I mean, you if you didn't know we'd had torrential rains, if you showed up, you go, man, there's other than puddles on the track. It looked great.
Yeah.
And the tarp certainly helps.
No doubt.
Helps with that. Okay, you dust them off, run rule them in game 2, which was probably nice to save an arm or two because you then were trying to get a sweep, but then you ran into one of college baseball's better pitchers.
Yeah, Brody Brecht is, I would imagine he's going to be a first-round pick here in a couple of, a few short weeks, and he'll be a multimillionaire before it's all said and done. He could be pitching in somebody's bullpen. I believe that this summer. Depending on how they want to use him. He's had early in the year, he had some outings where he just wasn't throwing a lot of strikes. Here recently, you've seen him make some adjustments to what he's doing. And he's tough. I mean, I went back and looked at some of the metrics today, some of the reports that our analytics guys put together. And, I mean, he was 96 to 99 with his fastball. His average fastball velo was 97. The slider is the most devastating pitch that we've seen in college baseball this year. There's a reason that right-handed hitters are hitting about 140 against him. It's a tough at-bat. And, we ran into a guy that was motivated, obviously, to help his team salvage a game. And, the first time through the order, we were really trying to get his pitch count up, and he just wouldn't have any part of it. I mean, every 1-1 count he needed to get back into, he did. He put us away with 2 strikes, and tip your cap at times. I mean, I hate to give anybody any credit when it comes to especially before the game. You don't want to build a guy up, but after the game, you can kind of look at it and go, man, our guys they're there to do everything they could to win the game, and we just ran into a pitcher that just kind of, he was a buzzsaw.
Well, in your pitching, Will Wall started 4 runs is what you gave up to maybe the number 1 offense in the league.
Yeah, Will was great. Will's bugaboo was the 2-out. He gave up a 2-out, 2-strike double to start the scoring, a 2-out homer, and then another 2-out homer. And that was his outing. Everything else was soft contact. So I didn't think he had the change going. We talked about the week before. He had the change up on a string. Didn't have the same conviction on the change. More balls in the dirt, more balls elevated for him. But, again, I thought his stuff was good. And outside of, 3 pitches, I thought the outing was really good. And we had some nice performances, like I alluded to, out of the pen. Evan Borst, got himself into a little bit of trouble. Wiggled out of it, got some momentum there. Freilich had another nice outing. Kyle Perry and Clevenger, came in. And so there's some other guys that they're gaining some confidence. Rand Sanders got back out there, had a nice outing for us. So feeling like we've got some guys that are pitching with a lot of confidence. It's
good to see Rands have a clean inning in Sunday's game. Well, folks, Hy-Vee fans, we want you to go check out their new Hy-Vee Perks program. You can sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on more than 100 items in-store and even online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. I need to work our first break in. Phone lines, text lines open, 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up next.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker black shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Discover the future of luxury with a Cadillac Lyriq at Woodhouse Cadillac. Experience the thrill of instant torque and seamless acceleration, all with zero emissions. Lease a 2024 Cadillac Lyriq Sport all-wheel drive for $599 a month for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. Shop all our Lyriq inventory in store or online today at Woodhouse Cadillac, where innovation meets elegance. With approved credit, stock number KK240022. $4,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 due at signing. Offer expires 4/30/24. See dealer for details.
back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. The head coach with us until the top of the hour. Talking ball, 402-413-2400. Crypto King in the chat room, Coach, wants to know if there's any plans for a vintage or throwback uniform. Have we done that in the past? I think we kind of have.
Well, I think honestly our current uniform sets are pretty vintage and throwback in themselves. I mean, we have the cream jerseys are a little bit throwback that we have worn on Fridays, and the red and the white are pretty vintage and throwback in their own right. So, I don't think a whole lot about uniforms. I think we've talked about that before. I mean, I have other things that I'm thinking about, but I do like Sharpe jerseys, and I think we have a really good set of jerseys. And our folks have done a nice job, designing some of these things. Adidas has collaborated with us. So, I don't really know down the road if we're looking at anything like that. I like the old school look. I think it's clean. Maybe we look into some baggy pants or something like that. That gives you a little more, or maybe some stirrups. I know Coach Childress is dying to get us back in stirrups again. We did that at A&M when he was there, but I don't know. We'll have to see on the jerseys.
It's one of those things that fans, it's kind of a buzz with a lot of fans. Interesting. All right, let's go to the phones, up to Ceresco and Ryan. Good evening, Ryan. You're up with the head coach.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Greg. How's it going?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Sharpe, good to hear you back. Husker Nation's praying for you. I know you know that.
Thank you.
Great to hear you back.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Coach, my question's with J-Dub coming out of the pen. Is there any chance we could see him possibly start this year on like a deep weekend, run into the tournament or the regional something if we're short arms? And then does he project as a starter maybe going forward in the future? I think his stuff is absolutely electric, and he was one of the most fun one to watch.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I would agree with you. And we've talked at length, on this show here about J-Dub and how his value to our team. Could he start? Absolutely. He's obviously a really great starter in high school, as are most of these guys that come out of high school. They're a top starter where they come from. And certainly could we look at him in that role? Sure. I've seen it happen before where, a guy that you have in the pen that you want to keep there kind of forces his hand, and maybe there's an injury or maybe there's just some inconsistencies in your rotation. Or maybe it's just a situation where, like you said, in the tournament, you just feel like you've got to have, somebody step up for you. So could it happen? Absolutely. The way we see it right now with J-Dub is he's pretty valuable, being able to throw him a couple of times on the weekend. And as many close games as we've played this year, he's been one of those guys that's been highly reliable for us out of the pen and can go multiple innings. So he's pretty well stretched out to go, I would say, 60 pitches probably is about where he could get to. Now, the difference is can you hold your stuff for 60 pitches? Because right now we're asking him to go anywhere from 20 to 40 typically, an inning and change, 2 innings and change at the most. So can you hold that stuff? And could you be as effective, as you get to your 60th pitch? And as you talk about being a starter, you're talking about pitch 80, pitch 100, if you could get him stretched out to there. So, those are all things that maybe we'll find out. But right now, he's closed now, I think, 4 games for us. And he's a guy that you can hand the ball off to, and you feel like you can he can finish a game for you because he can make the innings disappear pretty quick. So in the future, I would imagine, depending on how many innings he ends up throwing this year and how he feels at the end of this season, I would imagine we send him back out as a starter as we did last summer and, see what we can get out of him next year that way and go from there.
Ryan, appreciate the phone call. Jim and Lincoln on our text line. Coach, what's it going to take down the stretch to win the conference? Kind of bundled up. They're at the top right now.
Just win, baby. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what it takes is you really can't worry too much about what the other teams are doing. If you win your series, are you going to have a chance to win the league? maybe not. I mean, that number's usually been about 17 or 18 that gets you the conference championship. Who knows? With the way the standings are jumbled this year, it may be less than that. I don't know. So I just know that we've been pretty consistent on the weekends, and we've won a lot of weekends, and that's all we can do. Just keep doing that. We've got one home series left and 2 on the road, and just win. I mean, that's really as simple as it gets. Is you got to figure out a way to win series and win weekends, and if you've got a chance to sweep, then you've got to finish those things off to win the league.
All right, appreciate the text, Jim. Are you surprised that it's this bunched up, or are you kind of seeing that parity across the conference?
I'm a little surprised that there's as many teams with such good records at this point in time in the conference, because it usually ends up working its way towards that as you get a little bit closer. I mean, you look in, the last 2 weekends, maybe there's 4 teams that are right there. But to have as many teams as there are right now that have really good records in the league, and then a couple that are right behind them, the parity's there. And then you've got a team like Rutgers who doesn't have a good league record, who has a really good RPI, who I think it just goes to show. I mean, the perception of the league is not accurate. And now we've talked about it on this show plenty of times. It's probably been well earned by some of the decisions that have been made in the league through the years, which we're changing and in the process of changing for the better. But it's good baseball. There's good teams. There's a lot of good talent. I mean, Iowa's Sunday starter is going to be a first rounder. They're a team that's fighting for their lives right now, just like we all are. So there's a lot of good teams in the league, a lot of teams playing at a really high level, and it'll be a fun finish here in the Big Ten Conference.
Dorothy Lynch, homestyle light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Dennis on our text line. Coach, do you like the 10-run rule? Is it after the 5th or 7th? And seeing in college more bat flips from guys after a home run, do you discourage this with your players?
So I like the 10-run rule when we're on the right side of it. Just say that. I do think it's necessary, especially on getaway day, where everybody's got travel restrictions anyway, to have the 10-run rule. The reason you saw the run rule in the first game of the resume game on Sunday is because it became getaway day. And so any doubleheader or any resume game on Sunday becomes a run rule situation, not on Friday or Saturday in league play. I would probably be in favor of it in league play on every day of the 10-run rule, because I just think it becomes a player safety issue at times if you're out there for, if the weather is awful and you're playing in, suboptimal conditions. Everybody's just kind of ready to move on to the next game. But I would probably be in favor of it in every game. We do play them in the midweeks. We have the run rule at home in the midweeks, saves pitching, those type of things. So yeah, I am in favor of that, especially when we're on the right side of that. And I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Do you discourage bat flipping?
Oh, do I discourage bat flipping? I'm pro fun, and I understand that the game has evolved and changed. I'm also pro sportsmanship. So there's a little fine line there between feeling like you're showing up the opponent and maybe just kind of having a little fun with some things too. And I know it's been a big emphasis this year with the bat flips, not to, flip it in the direction of an opponent, a pitcher, opposing dugout, those type of things. The game's changed. It just has. And it's to me, I think you want to see guys' personalities come out. You don't want everybody to feel like they're just out there just robots. So I'm pro sportsmanship. If you can do that and have fun and admire your work every once in a while, I'm okay with that as long as you do it in a respectful manner.
Great. Dennis, thanks for the questions. Folks, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, Huskers head to Minneapolis to play the Gophers this weekend. What year was the last time Nebraska visited the Twin Cities to play some baseball? What year? We're looking for the year. Text if you know the answer, 402-413-2400. We'll have the answer next.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Visit Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during Ram Truck Month and save on the entire lineup of trucks. Shop the rugged and confident 2024 Ram 1500 and enjoy best-in-class towing and an array of tech features designed for whatever journey comes your way. Right now, get up to $10,000 off MSRP on all in-stock 2024 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramies. Your trusted Ram dealer since 1991. This is Woodhouse. With approved credit, tax title license extra. When financed through Chrysler Capital, $299 doc fee to sign. Offer expires 4/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Husker fans, it's baseball season, and your Nebraska baseball team wants to see you at Haymarket Park. Season tickets, diamond deals, and single game tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets today and help the Huskers show everyone in the country why there is no place like Nebraska. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for another round of Nebraska farm facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
The Jeep Celebration event is going on right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Sioux City. Shop and save on top models like the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited and lease for just $379 per month with $0 down. Visit us in store or online at WoodhouseChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. Serving Siouxland since 2013. This is Woodhouse. 42 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax title license extra. First payment and $179 doc fee to signing. Stock number DS240308. Offer expires 4/30/24. See dealer for details.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSharpie.com.
Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. All right, folks, I'm really disappointed in you. This is not that hard of a trivia question. We're playing for $100 in scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. Again, if you've already won this year, you cannot win again. The last time Nebraska played baseball in the Twin Cities, what year? You're way overthinking this. Way overthinking this. So come on, somebody get the right answer. All right, Caden Brumbaugh, give us an update. I know he did not play Saturday, Sunday. What's the verdict, or do you know yet?
Yeah, so he is. What happened is he had a tag play on Friday night. Karen had a caught stealing. Brum came up the line, made a nice tag, bent his hand back a little bit. He's dealing with some, nothing major. There's no break, there's no tear. It's just a little sprain or strain there. So it's affecting his ability to grip the bat. It's his glove hand and his bottom hand, so it obviously affects a little bit, in his glove as well. So we're just going to kind of monitor it this week and see where that's at, just in terms of what he's able to do and not able to do. I do know it got a little bit better as the weekend went along. Saw him today and said that it's feeling a little bit better. So at this point, don't think it's necessarily going to be something that's going to hold him out for a long time. I don't necessarily think he's going to injure himself more. I think it's just going to come down to what he can and can't do from a tolerance and from just how close can he be to 100% of what he normally does when he plays.
Coach, he's been an injury magnet, unfortunately, in his career. Crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. I mean, he was swinging the bat really well and providing a spark at the top of the lineup for us. And, hopefully, like I said, hopefully it'll just be a short-term deal. And I know it killed him not to be out there with us.
You've kind of ridden the wave of Tyler Stone. Great start to the year. Then he kind of dipped off. Now he's back, swinging great.
Yeah, he is, and he's got a major presence in the box, and he's driving the ball to all fields. He's hitting for average. He's a good two-strike hitter, as we talked about with a big home run. He's really coming into his own, and that's a sign of a good hitter. There's no book on a guy when he first comes in. He's a JUCO transfer. And then they start to figure out, okay, how can we attack his weaknesses? So then he's got to make adjustments to that. And there was not a whole lot of lull in there for him. And don't forget too, he missed a couple of weeks with the hamstring. So he's coming off that. We missed him in that Rutgers series for sure. But yeah, he's been great. He provides presence in the middle of the order, and he's a guy that you have to make pitches to.
Yeah, really. I mean, again, that Friday night swing maybe was the biggest swing of the weekend for your team. Case Anderson is a guy that just kind of keeps motoring along in his freshman year.
Yeah, no, we've played him more in the outfield here recently, and he's starting to get more comfortable out there and hit him all over. I think he's hit in every spot 1 through 7 in the order so far this year. So high contact guy. Had our first hit against Brecht. It was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and yeah, he's just a high contact guy. I think as you see him continue to mature, the power is going to continue to come as well. But he's been a mainstay here recently in our lineup.
Speaking of riding a wave, you've been riding Ben Columbus for about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
And he cooled off a little bit when he had the injury, but he's played through it this week and had a big hit for us in, I believe, the second game of the series this weekend. Hit some balls hard too, and yeah, he's been good. We need that left-handed presence. He's played a good first base. Hopefully we can get him back there and catch this week. I think he's feeling close to 100% now with that hamstring. We took it easy on the bases with him. Just told him, hey, just get down the line as best you can without re-injuring it. And he took care of it this week, and definitely going to need him at his best down the stretch.
Well, congratulations to Scott in Norfolk. He got it. It was last year, folks. We went up there to play that Cambria College Classic. Beat Vandy, beat Hawaii, got tripped up Sunday by Ole Miss, played it in the U.S. Bank Stadium, which is a phenomenal facility. A little goofy for baseball, but you get that when you convert a football stadium into a baseball bride. But that was a big weekend for the Huskers.
Yeah, it was a great tournament. We came out, and Emmett Olson had a great start against Vandy, and Shea Shanneman shut the door, and we had a bunch of hits and really played well. And then Hawaii put it on them the next day, and then Ole Miss kind of returned the favor to us on Sunday. But, yeah, We've played well in that venue, and it is a little bit odd. There's lines going in every which direction. The turf is really, really slow, but the ball flies in there in that park. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful setting with the stadium. It's first class, and yeah, it's a neat event.
Well, good, Scott. Congratulations, and that let us reminisce about a pretty good weekend for Husker baseball. All right, phone lines back open, 402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of the last segment of the program. Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. We're back to wrap up the show next.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Macy Byers with Campus News. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is building the first federal research center for climate-smart precision ag at UNL's Innovation Campus. News of the $160 million USDA facility comes as Nebraska prepares to build the new N-Farms platform near Meade, which will be among the largest precision ag research sites for universities across the nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Just a couple minutes left with the head coach before they have a busy week. Creighton tomorrow night, back home to play the Wildcats of K-State Wednesday. Bust to Minneapolis to take on the Gophers over the weekend. Let's go to Grand Island next. And Chris, good evening. Chris, you're up with Coach Bolt.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Chris. Doing great. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Greg, Husker Nation, everyone in Grand Island's behind you all the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Coach, one quick question for you. With the long delay that you had over the weekend with Iowa, how do you keep your players mentally focused?
Well, The easy short answer is it's for as long as some of these delays are, there's really only so much you can do. It's not like we send them to a room and have them stare at the wall and meditate for a couple hours. I mean, they kind of keep themselves occupied. I kind of stay out of it for the most part until we get a little bit closer to the time where we can pull the tarp and those things. But the guys, they're up there playing wiffle ball in the locker room. They're playing cards. They're just messing around. I mean, there's you can't just sit there and kind of just think about the game 24/7. I mean, I think there's a fine line there. If it's a shorter delay, it's a little bit different. We'll usually keep them in the dugout if that's the case. If it's a shorter delay, if there's lightning, they have to go inside. That's the rule there. So it's a good rule. So how do we keep them focused? I wouldn't necessarily say that there's a great way to do that. So they're up there just kind of doing their thing and being with each other and keeping it light, and then also understanding that you've got to get that, when you have to come down and take the tarp off at home, or if you get the 30-minute basically warning, so to speak, that you're going to have a chance to play, then you start getting it dialed in and they start thinking about the game again. But they're kids, they're big personalities. I know there's some guys that went and slid on the tarp apparently at some point in time after the delay on Friday, so you can only do so much.
Yeah. Appreciate the phone call. Hey, folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential. For Nebraskans and their families, there's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Dale and Hastings on the text line. Coach, what's the pitching plan for tomorrow night?
Well, I think you'll see a bunch of different guys. We'll go Tyner Horn to start the game. And, we'll see a bunch of different guys, maybe some guys that have yet to emerge that need to step up, and guys that can throw the ball over the plate and compete for us will get the ball.
So then you've got the next 2 weeks, you're loaded. You play Tuesday, Wednesday. This is a big stretch you're going to need a lot of arms.
Yeah, we have to have some guys step up that we haven't seen a whole lot.
Yeah. All right, Huskers will play Creighton tomorrow night up at Charles Schwab. There is some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Coach and I were kidding earlier that the one day in the last 5 days where there's been no problems with precip is right now, where you wouldn't have to be checking your phone and looking at radar.
Oh yeah, every home weekend we're trying to play meteorologist, looking at the radar and where the lightning is and where the storm's coming from, where's the upper low and these things. So beautiful day today though.
Sure was. All right, you do go to Minneapolis. We've talked about that throughout the show. John Anderson has announced that he is stepping down. Is it 42 years? That's a long time to be a part of college baseball.
Long time, and he's a pioneer. He's seen it all. He's seen everything. Had a great career there, and I know they're actually going to honor him this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I think it might be one of their last home series.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, have a great week.
Appreciate it.
Head Coach Will Bull with us here tonight. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Huskers and Blue Jays from Omaha tomorrow night. 6 o'clock first pitch, 5:30 for pregame. Ben McLaughlin and David Gussis will be on the call tomorrow night. Have yourself a good night tonight. Jessica will join me for the next hour. We'll talk a little Husker football spring game. We'll do that coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Last night was Nebraska Athletics Night at the Lead Award Ceremony. A host of awards were handed out, but Billy Andrews and Ethan Piper won the Most Outstanding Male and Female Student Athlete Awards. To be considered for the award, the athletes needed to have a cumulative GPA of 3.30 or better, performed with distinction in a varsity sport, demonstrated a commitment to service and leadership, and acted in a manner that has brought credit to the student athlete, institution, and intercollegiate athletics. So 2 worthy winners there. The other winners can be found on Huskers.com. This afternoon, the first Husker football player post-spring practice entered the transfer portal. Linebacker Chief Borders has put his name into the portal as a grad transfer. Coach Matt Rule had previously stated that Borders had made a huge jump this spring. The NFL draft concluded this past weekend, and while no Huskers were drafted, 7 signed with teams as free agents. On the defense, Omar Brown and Quentin Newsome both signed with the Denver Broncos, and Phelan Sanford joined the Las Vegas Raiders. On offense, Nuri Nwili signed with the New Orleans Saints, Billy Kemp joined the New York Giants, and Anthony Grant is headed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp. And last but not least, long snapper Marco Ortiz is set to join the Los Angeles Chargers. Finally, there are 3 NBA playoff games tonight. The Celtics lead the Heat 29-18 with about a minute left in the first quarter there. The Celtics lead that series 2-1. At 7:30, the Pelicans host the Thunder. The Thunder lead that series 3-0. And finally, later tonight at 9 Central, the Nuggets host the Lakers. The Nuggets lead the series 3-1. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Morgan brings it in. Tyler Stone rips one to right. That's hit deep, and that ball is gone. Tyler Stone ties us up at 4. A 3-run blast to right. Stoney into the bullpen, and it's a new game here in Lincoln.
McDermott, the right-hander, deals. Pineda swings and lifts a fly ball to left field. Going back is Peterson. It's over her head and rolling all the way to the wall. Bacon scores. Bland scores. A 2-run double for Pineda. And the Huskers boost the lead to 6-2 in the third.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And here we are after a Monday baseball show. I do need to correct something I said. The Huskers have 2 midweek games this week. They do, but they do not have 2 midweek games next week. They play a midweek game, and it's on a Wednesday, which is a little odd to play Wednesday, not Tuesday, but it is South Dakota State. So my bad on all of that. Good to see you. What a great Saturday. I thought it was really, really a good day. Weather-wise, I think it was a good day for the program.
It was, and the weather was great. There's so many recruits there, so many alumni, some really big names that were back there on the field, and just overall, it felt like there was just this great vibe going on. And I think you're seeing a lot of the recruits talk about that were there, about just the fan support, but then also just the love for the program within, just getting to tour the facilities, getting to know some of those older guys. And it seemed like all around it was a great weekend between recruiting and then what we saw on the field, other than the 2 injuries, unfortunately. But just overall, it was a great weekend.
The weather was really, after the stormy Friday, which, my goodness, the shots of those funnel clouds near the stadium were ominous. And then, boy, it hit parts of Waverly, which that's, by the way, where Coach Rural is. And then up by Elkhorn, we have a lot of Husker athletes from the Elkhorn area. I hope they're all okay. Coach Bolt said his guys from Elkhorn, their families are all okay. So, man, prayers to everybody. Some of those images are hard to look at.
Oh, it's just devastating. And then, on Saturday, it ripped through Oklahoma. And so it just is heartbreaking all around, just back-to-back days of seeing people that I know or that are close to that have been affected by this. And so, yeah, it's you see it, and then you, especially growing up in Oklahoma, it's something that honestly, you kind of get hardened to a little bit, but then boy, it's just such a wake up call. The videos, the pictures are just absolutely devastating and heartbreaking. And, you know, I saw a video of a woman that was in the basement and came out and just was like, oh my gosh, look at my house. You know, it's like you go into your basement and then you come out and it just looks completely, you're like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? All my stuff where is it? You know, it's just, I can't even imagine. So yeah, awful. Just heartbreaking. And as we've said multiple times, I just can't, thoughts and prayers to everybody that are dealing with it. And what we've already seen too is just the response. I mean, so many people, how can we help? What can we do? And that's what Nebraska does. They rally together. How quickly the Nebraska folks turned a t-shirt that you can purchase and all those proceeds go to help. I know that Will Compton and Bussin' with the Boys put out t-shirts that all the proceeds go. I was on the sideline and Gus Felder came up to me and goes, hey, do you know who we can contact of where we can take the guys to help with cleanup efforts? And so, you know, and then come to find out the Red Cross is still trying to figure out what's needed, and they have to make sure that places are safe before they can send people in. So, you know, already I know that there are multiple teams here that have asked, how can we get involved? How can we go up there? So it's what you expect out of Nebraska, but it just, you know, as you rebuild, it's not an easy process, but I'm just glad that it seemed like everybody was pretty safe throughout all of it.
All right. What do you think of DR?
Boy, a couple of his throws were pretty incredible, right? The one touchdown pass, I know that's the one that keeps playing over and over and over again. It just, yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Searles and I were out at practice a few weeks ago, and it just, we were saying it just looks different coming off of his hand. Now, he by no means is not anointed, the guy yet.
Nope.
He didn't win it after Saturday, but you can certainly tell. But kudos to Heinrich Harburg, made some great throws too.
Thought he played well.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's clear to say Dylan's probably the one. Heinrich right at his heels. And I think Danny, to no surprise, and Danny's going to be a good quarterback, I think, is probably running 3. But I like the fact that they kind of opened it up and let those guys take shots down the field. One of the touchdowns, I think it was Heinrich to Fedoni, would not have counted. That would have been a sack if they'd have been playing a real football game. Dylan wasn't perfect. I thought he threw one into a tight window. You probably don't want to do that on a game day. So he wasn't perfect, but you can see the pocket presence, the ability to slide himself out of trouble. He's not a big-time runner, but he's athletic enough that he can get himself outside and buy time. And if you can do that, you're going to get somebody open.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was the first to take accountability for the one throw that I think it was tipped and ended up being intercepted. He's like, that was on me. I shouldn't have forced that. And that's what he does. And even I visited with Dominic, his dad, before the game, and we were chatting even before we did the interview, and he loves it. He loves it so much. And it's almost like you got to tell him, hey, you don't have to do so much, you know, because he cares so much. And so he will dive into that film. He will dissect it. He will go over it and over and over again, every throw that he made. But even just his first throw where he let it fly and didn't end up connecting, you could hear the crowd react to it because you could just see the arm strength there and just kind of what kind of weapon that potentially could be. But yeah, it's exciting for sure. And I know that they didn't let the defense, they didn't go full speed with the defense, but still, yeah, you can definitely see some flashes of why he was the #1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school.
To me, Jess, on the defense, so many of our starters didn't play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to judge them. And I know Saturday was probably hard on Coach White because he probably was like, my guys are getting, but I can't blitz and I can't stun, I can't do this. But he kind of also knew this is what today is about.
Yeah. And, you know, but even that being said, they were still getting after those defensive backs because as much as they weren't able to dial up everything that they normally would to make quarterbacks' lives a little bit more challenging, they still present the challenge to the defensive backs. Hey, you got to go take care of your job against these wide receivers. And I think that's where sometimes they were getting, even just from what I saw on the sideline, a little bit frustrated with some of those defensive backs, but a lot of it is like, I mean, what can you do?
Right.
You know, who can outrun Jalen Lloyd?
No, you can't. And that's what speed does for him. Two names that really jumped off to me, and I want your thoughts on these. Janiron Bonner, who we had not heard much about. I know last year they kind of tried to turn him in to a bit of an H-back. I think he's better out on the edge. I thought he was tremendous, and I thought Dante Dowdell did a nice job, ran hard. And I think he's going to be a nice addition.
Absolutely. And I think you saw, too, just the difference that maybe Dante can bring in terms of the different types of running backs. And when you get all of them here and all of them healthy and just what he can provide, and he can be a bruiser. He can, he's not afraid to take the contact, and so I think that's big in terms of the Big Ten. But Janiron Bonner, he was the guy coming out of high school that they were really excited about. Is an extremely athletic guy, and I don't know if he was ever. And I remember talking to him last spring when they converted him to the fullback, and he's like, whatever I need to do to help the team, I feel like I can play anywhere. But I think if you true serum in him, he'd probably say that he's most comfortable in the wide receiver position. But, I think, maybe lining him up in the slot, and then even just the year that he had playing fullback, it's got to have helped his blocking. So maybe he can be an asset there, but he's trimmed down. And I saw numerous plays throughout spring that he made, that he was a guy that they called his number a lot throughout spring. So I'll be anxious to see how that translates into the fall, and if he can be a guy into the fall, because he certainly was this spring.
Great point on Dowdell, because he's a much different back than Emmett.
Yeah.
Much different than Ramir will be, who we did not see Saturday. So I liked him a lot. I didn't see enough of Quentin Ives maybe to make a big opinion on him, but Dowdell, and you and Jeremiah talk about this a lot on your podcast, you're going to need that 4-minute offense where you need to grind the clock late in the game. You're trying to protect the lead or whatever the case may be. He could be that guy.
Yeah.
Just go power it for 4 or 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, and he seems like a guy that can carry a heavy load too, and that he's okay with it. But yeah, just having we went into this last spring. We were talking about, well, what is the defensive line going to have enough bodies, and the running backs, boy, they're loaded. And then all of a sudden, you just totally flipped the script by the time the fall ran around. And it was game 3 that you saw multiple running backs go down, and then you need those guys. You need multiple guys, but to be able to have that guy that you can rely on to drain some of the clock, absolutely. And he's got some experience, and this spring especially, it seemed like it was. Ives for sure, but it was Dowdell and Emmett that got a lot of those carries. And so I think just with Emmett, I think he was beginning to scratch the surface of what he could potentially do last fall, and then he carried that over into the spring. So, it's just kind of a completely 2 different 1-2 punch there between those 2 guys, and then you add the other ones. Who knows what that's going to look like in the fall. But hopefully, I know Gabe was on the sideline. I don't know what his trajectory is to being fully healthy. I know it was a pretty severe injury, but I know Ramir's close, but it was more so probably a precautionary thing. But it's going to be interesting to see how that whole depth chart unfolds once we get to the fall.
Are you talking to the big dog this week?
Yes, tomorrow. Good,
because I've had people go, what do you think of the offensive line? And I got to go back and watch the whole game. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I don't know. And we didn't have Ben Scott, didn't have Bryce Benhart play. So I'll be anxious to hear what his take is.
Yes, and I think it's just totally hard to judge that at this point, just because those guys. You're talking about arguably your best. The big dog will tell you that probably Ben Scott was your best offensive player last year. But you'd probably agree with that, right?
I agree. Nope, I agree.
So you're talking about probably your most consistent player on offense that wasn't out there, and Ben Scott, and just the way that he's able to make things go, and just that veteran presence. And Bryce Benhart was probably the most improved last year. So I think it just makes a huge difference when you don't have those 2 guys. And also Turner Corcoran, who I know is coming off the injury, but still, he's a guy that's played a lot of football too. So you've got, 3 starters?
Potentially, yeah. 2 definitely. Turner will be on the edge.
Teddy didn't play a whole lot, I don't think, he played some, but... So I don't think you could get a truly good feel for what that group's going to look like.
Right. Well, I'll be anxious to see what Jeremiah has to say about that. Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive Perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. All right. The news of the afternoon was not welcome news. It's about 5 o'clock. We saw that Chief Borders has entered the portal. You talked to him. You interviewed him Saturday. He was effusive in his praise of the program and how things are going. I did not see this coming at all.
I didn't either. If you could have asked me after that game, because I think we all would agree. Damon, Jeremiah, you, me, everybody that covers this program would tell you that expect some additions to the portal, right? It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. That would have not been on my list. He would have not been on my list. just because he's had a great spring. We've heard his name a lot. The times that I've talked to him, even just on Saturday, I would have never have known that was where his mind was. And then he loves it. I know that he loves it here. He's super involved in a lot of different things. I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? I'm just completely speculating here. If he is one of those guys, when you heard Coach Rule a few weeks ago talking about how there are guys that are being targeted from other programs, getting offered a bunch of stuff, and it's illegal, but there's nobody really monitoring it. There's nobody regulating this, and it's happening in all sports. But certainly, some of these guys for the football team have had people reach out from all these different programs saying, "Hey, probably come here. You're going to be our star, and hey, we'll pay you this amount of money in NIL money." So I feel like probably this might be one of those cases. Maybe we'll find out soon enough that he was being targeted and was made an offer that, I don't know, probably for him would be hard to turn down.
I don't know how these coaches do it. You put so much time in recruiting, developing a young man or woman in whatever the sport may be, and then they just walk away. I mean, it's just, wow. That's not what the intent of the one-time transfer rule was. It just wasn't. But we've now completely gone away from all that.
Well, and I just go back to like this, especially a guy like Chief, his whole time here, and when he got here a year ago and how quickly he became a leader, and when he was going through everything. Remember, it was like the press conference before spring ball. He was one of the guys that Coach Rule brought to talk with because he performed so well in the offseason. And I know he didn't have quite as big of a year as maybe everyone would have hoped, but he still was a big piece. He played a lot of football last year, and he was really settling into his role. I think he was moved around quite a bit last year, but I think he finally settled into that edge spot and was just, I mean, again, you just kept hearing his name over and over again, and so he's certainly going to be a big part. And I don't know, it just, to me, though, I guess, and I don't want to speak anything because I'm a big fan of Chief Borders, but for any of these players that are getting these offers, whatever, that are saying, hey, come here, I also know that this staff has been in the NFL. And so for most of these guys, you're going to make more money if you make an NFL team, if you can make it to the next level than you would on an NFL team than you would in NIL money, right? For a lot of these guys. And so if you can set yourself up to get a good spot where you are set up to make it to the next level. And I know that's not guaranteed, and that's part of why NIL was brought in, but it's like, for what this staff is doing here, their experience in the NFL, how much they're respected in the NFL, and it's only a matter of time before I think the dominoes start falling with them getting guys in the league and getting guys that have a longevity in the league as well. And so I don't know, just for me, that's where I'm thinking too, is like, if my dream ultimately is to be in the NFL, I would think that this has got to be one of the better staffs to be under to get myself there.
Totally agree. Coach, in his press conference after the game, he kind of subtly mentioned it, that every major program in the country had back-channeled their interest in Thomas Fidone. And that Thomas basically said, no, I'm where I need to be. I'm staying here. So this is going on way, way too much. But you're right, there's nobody to monitor. There's nobody to police it.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, you're not supposed to tamper, but
No.
there's just, it's happening so much and so often, and the NCAA is so in over their head. And I don't know how, at this point, they keep just digging their heels in on stupid things. I mean, I guess it's just par for the course of the NCAA, but at some point it's got to be regulated, and there's got to be some punishments for this that's against the, because this doesn't happen in the NFL. So you want to start talking about, oh, this is moving towards the NBA, a professional type league. Well, this stuff does not happen. You sign a contract, and then that's where it is. You know, you have to fulfill a contract. And so maybe that's where it's going to have to go at some point, where, hey, if you're going to come here and this is where we're at, we're paying you to be here, then you are signing a contract for 2-3 years, whatever the deal might be, and you can take your pick on what's the best deal. But like the tampering stuff is not happening at the next level. So if you want to start making them even and comparing the two, and something's got to be regulated here, because this stuff isn't happening at the next level.
One last thing. Did you get much feedback on how the communication stuff was working Saturday?
I didn't, because I was not, like, I was kind of on the sides, and so I didn't really hear or see, but I'll have to definitely dive into that.
Yeah, I didn't hear much reaction to it. I did not see us have an issue.
I will say this, so, and I hope it's okay for me to say this, they were recording on it, and so hopefully that's a piece that's going to be put out at some point.
Cool.
Our digital crew was between the football staff and the corn crib crew. I know that was something that they were trying to make sure that they captured so that they could put it out there, because there is a lot of interest in it. And the offense, I know, has used it, but the defense, it's been more of a work in progress. So hopefully that's something that we will maybe get an inside look at coming up in the future, but no for sure set date on that.
Very good. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the hour with a call or a text. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're going to replay some of Jessica's conversations from Saturday and our weekend winner. All that coming up yet this hour.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. With special financing options featuring low APR rates and flexible terms, or lease deals with competitive monthly payments and minimal upfront costs. Owning a Ford from Woodhouse has never been easier.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Not All Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not All Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. I had a couple texts wanted to get to on the text line. Art in Los Angeles said, Jessica, I really enjoyed your interview with Trey Palmer. It sure shows how much of an impact this program has on athletes. Trey calls it home, even though he was only here 1 year. Yeah, Trey was great. He was actually on the phone, and I just interrupted him, and he hung up to talk to us. And you can tell how much he loves it here. And that's what I asked him. I said, why do you love this place so much? Why did it make such a big impact on you when you were only here for a year? And he just said, look at this place, and just how much they welcomed him in and treated him as one of their own. And then now even in the NFL, he said he runs into people all the time that are GBR. And so that just even now that he's not here and anywhere he goes, it's like GBR. So I thought that was really cool. And then it's pretty funny, Cole, you heard it, right? Where I said, what do you think about these young wide receivers? And he said they're looking dangerous. I think they're going to wake up pissed off every morning.
Yeah, he did say that. And we had known for years his game day tweet.
Yes.
That's his signature game day tweet.
Yeah. So we were all laughing about that. You never know what you're going to get with Trey. John in Omaha said, Dylan did look very good. I anticipated that, but Harburg has taken a big step forward, in my opinion, just the eye test. He obviously put in a lot of hard work. I wonder if you can contribute that to a new quarterback coach as well. And I agree, John, and I think that's what we were all talking about. And even throughout spring, you could tell that Heinrich had made a big step. I think he's got a lot of confidence because he became the starter last year. He has settled in and is embracing his role as being the leader in that room. And then, I think he's worked really hard. He saw the things that he had to work on, and boy, he got in there and put in the work, and I think you could definitely tell a difference. I will make sure that I ask Cyril's about that too, but he actually noticed that when he went out to practice too, just that he thought that his arm looked a lot better, and he actually had texted a few of his buddies about how much better he thought that he was throwing the football. So I agree. I think that he's definitely made some steps, and that you could probably contribute that to a lot of different things, but certainly Glenn Thomas could have absolutely made a big impact on him as well. Appreciate the text rolling in on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by Woodhouse. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, we did want to play back a few of those interviews that I was able to get on the sidelines. One of them, this is my first one on Saturday, that was down there on the sideline, and it was awesome to see Dominic Raiola taking in everything with Dylan out there going through all of the warm-ups for the first time. So what was also cool about Dominic, too, is that they called him over, and he was over there talking to the O-line recruits. And so, just as a part of the recruiting process, and a lot of those former players they were talking to those recruits. And when I talked to Coach Rule at the end of the game, he said, we want them to feel that community, that brotherhood when you come be a part of this. This is what it is all about. And so Dominic he wasn't only there watching his son play, he was also trying to help recruit in any way he could too. But here's my conversation with Dominic prior to kickoff in the Red-White spring game. Yeah, I think it's a pretty crazy day here for Dominic Raiola. You're down here on the sidelines. You've been here so many times, but how does it feel to look out there and see Dylan out there on the field?
It's amazing. It's amazing that we're here on this journey now, and we're here to stay in this crazy world of college football. But for him to come to this decision and really put in 3-4 months of hard work and see how happy he is and how much he's thriving here, it's exciting time for my family.
You know, what has made you believe in Coach Rule and the direction of this program, not just as a parent, but also as a former player here?
He does what he says, and he says what he does, and that goes both ways. And I mean, he's really honest with you. He's straight up, and you need to take chances like this to turn programs around. And he took a chance on Nebraska a couple years ago, you know. So I mean, I don't even think it's a chance. It's about trusting the coaching staff and trusting what they're doing and trusting the culture that they're building that they're building in the building. And you know, his track record, his resume. It's amazing watching, you know, him, what he did at Temple, what he did at Baylor, and, you know, he's going to do it again here.
You got a son over there with the quarterbacks, but you've been hanging out here, obviously, with the offensive line. What can you say about the job Donovan's done and the depth that he's been able to build up front?
Yeah, he's maniacal. He's maniacal about his work, and he just, you know, over and over, repetition. He believes in his technique and his teaching, and he's, you know, really hard on his guys, but he loves them even harder. And so I'm really proud of him and where he is, and I mean, he's doing a really good job.
You and I were just chatting before, and we were talking about Dylan, and he went to wrestling matches and basketball games, and you had told him, hey, never lose being a fan because he's a fan of this place. Why was that an important message for him?
Well, because you can learn so much being a fan. It's, you know, you can learn so much of what other people are doing, but you can appreciate and have gratitude for, you know, the steps that you've taken. I mean, look at all these people here, you know, but for him to go to basketball games and go to wrestling matches and, you know, volleyball games, and so he's all in. He's all in. He's always been a fan. He's been a fan of the best players in the world and got to be there right along my side, you know, in my journey. So that's not gonna ever stop in his journey.
You were saying you've been to lots of spring games, but nobody does it like Nebraska, right?
No, nobody does. The fans show up. It's a great environment, and especially what they're putting in the building now. The people that they put in the building to run this organization, to run this program, is second to none. It's elite, and you can really come here and spread your wings and make something happen.
Love that. Well, DB, Damon Benning's up there in the booth. He's already talking nonsense. You got anything you want to say to him?
Not surprised. I just wish I could hear what he was saying.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
David decided he was not going to say anything else after that, but I love what he said, and I had to ask him about it because we were, you know, I was able to chat with him for a few minutes before we went live on the air, and just fascinating to pick his brain for a little bit and what he was saying about how he told Dylan to make sure that you always be a fan. He's like, because even he's like, I'm still a fan. Like, I remember when I was in the league and I was going out there and watching Tom Brady warm up, and how you can learn from that and just watching and observing. And so he told him that. I just thought that was a really cool message, and certainly a good message for all young people, because you probably can get to that point where you lose that. But, you know, it also makes you still appreciate the game and enjoying it, and not that it becomes such a job. I know it is a job, but that it's not so much of a job that you can still remember how much you enjoyed it and how much fun it was for you. Okay, wanted to play another interview from a former player that was awesome. My first time ever meeting Ameer Abdullah, and as nice as can be, as advertised as a human being, is what I've been told. So here is my conversation with Ameer Abdullah. Down here with none other than Ameer Abdullah. You're on the sideline. You're talking to a lot of folks, taking a lot of selfies. Got the throwback jersey on. How does it feel to be back in the stadium?
Man, it feels so good. The electricity is exactly how I remember it. And what I love about Nebraska the most is the community, man. Like, when you come here, they're going to treat you like one of their own. They're going to love you. They're going to support you. And just the same way they welcome Matt Rule into this same environment, you hear right now, man, I got to match their energy all the time. And that's what community feels like. So I just am so happy to be back and to see this program heading in the right direction. We just got a touchdown going on right now. Was that a dime? Who threw that?
It was a touchdown. It was Heinrich Harburg. Let's see. Let's take another look at it.
Ja'Cory Barney.
Ja'Cory Barney, the true freshman, pulling in the
reception.
That's what I like about this team. It's a nice mixture of a lot of young guys coming in who are going to play early, and then guys who have a little experience, and that really creates a competitive environment where everyone's trying to upstage the next person. I think that's what makes a good team. So,
Matt Rule is a huge fan of yours. How big of a fan are you of Matt Rule?
Man, big fan of him. When I was with him in Carolina, he welcomed me into his house, cooked dinner for me, would do anything for me, rolled out the red carpet, and I'm sure he's doing the same for these guys. He's a straight shooter. He really wants to see the best for everybody, and I think he does a good job of getting the best out of guys too, and that's what you want from a leader of a program.
What do you think of the running back so far?
Man, I think it's a nice mixture of speed, power, and depth. That's what you need, man. Here in Nebraska, we're all about depth at running back, where when the next guy goes in, you don't miss a beat, and I'm glad to see that returning to this position.
You're back to do some work with Team Jack. Why has that been important to you to stay involved with that and continue to help with that organization?
It's important just because, like I said earlier, the community, they've supported me so much through all of the ups and downs of my career. Coming back here to Nebraska to let them know that, hey, that didn't go by the wayside, that I love you guys. I'm always here to support all the causes that were birthed throughout my tenure. Anytime I could, I'm always going to do so. Unfortunately, it was canceled because of inclement weather yesterday, but, you know, hopefully we can make it up sometime soon.
Thank you so much for your time. Great to see you back.
Thank you.
So cool, so awesome. Cole, you're a big fan of Amir Abdullah.
Huge fan of Amir.
Is that your number one?
It's him or Amon Green.
Yeah.
I like the running back, and you know, Rex Burkhead too.
What about Damon Benning?
All the RBs. Damon Benning, he's good too.
I'm gonna make sure and let him know we're not on his original list. How about a touchdown happening in the middle of that interview? My back was to
wild.
The end zone, and then he calls it out. I was like, heck yeah, Amir, thanks for calling out the play-by-play. Then I had to look at the big screen to see what had happened. I saw 10, and then I could not see, and so shout out to Greg for hopping in there, but that was when they went back, and that was a really great throw from Heinrich. That was one of those awesome passes that he threw to Ja'Cory Barney, but that was fun. Awesome to get to chat with Amir. When I had asked Cole which interviews we should run, that was like, he very quickly said Amir Abdullah. So there we go. That was for you, Cole. All right, we got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. Much more to come. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting Major Connor Clark with Campus News. UNL's Center for Transformative Teaching works with educators across all majors on new teaching strategies for a new generation of students. The Center for Transformative Teaching helps instructors grapple with AI in the classroom, use data modeling to enhance student learning, earn grants for exploring new teaching methods, and provides crucial insights that power academic success.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too. Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Discover the entire lineup of luxurious sedans and SUVs at Genesis of Southwest Omaha, like the powerful and thrilling Genesis G70. Plus, receive a low APR of 2.9% for 48 months on the 2024 Genesis GV80. Start your car buying journey online at southwestomahagenesis.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Repayment of $22.09 a month for 48 months for $1,000 finance for well-qualified buyers. No down payment required. Offer expires May 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. A couple more segments left here on this Monday night edition of Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and a couple of the two really not so good things that happened were the two injuries that happened on the field on Saturday. But Bly Hill, one of those guys that was carted off, he posted on his social media today, I believe, yesterday. He said, despite the injury, had a great first spring ball. Can't wait to get back on the field with this team. Be back soon. #GBR. I know they were really excited about him and potentially could have been that starting cornerback opposite of Tommy Hill. He's had another one of those guys that's had a great spring. So don't know the extent of his injury. I know Coach Rule had said it was pretty significant. So I'm not sure if that means he won't be back for the fall. Maybe but anyways, great to see that he's in good spirits and said that it was a great first spring and he'll be back. So I always love to see that when they have a positive outlook on it. Okay, let's get to the interview that I had with Coach Rule on the field on Saturday. So originally he was going to be in the booth. I think Greg and Damon had talked about that, but then changes happened and the running clock and all that stuff. So he was on the field. And so I got the call from the bullpen to do that interview. And I didn't know what was going on, but it was right in the middle of the field, right behind the action. And so I was a little bit nervous. That was one of the more interesting settings I've ever done a live interview before. But here was my interview with Coach Rule, middle of the game, middle of the field on Saturday.
Well, Coach Rule, how does it feel just to be back out here in the stadium in front of Husker Nation again?
Well, I think anytime you come out to a spring game, there's over 60,000 people, it's humbling. And I really appreciate the turnout. Obviously, our hearts go out to everyone affected by the tornado yesterday. And it speaks to the resilience of the Nebraska people that even despite all that, we'd all still be here.
I know a couple of, sorry, 1 second. The injuries, a little bit disappointing there, but other than that, have you seen what you wanted to see today?
Yeah, anytime a player gets hurt, man, my heart breaks. And so, but I think we've done some good things. We turned the ball over a couple times, which means obviously the defense took the ball away. And so, a lot of young guys getting an opportunity to show what they can do. So, hopefully, when we turn the tape on, it looks pretty good.
From the start of spring to now, how do you like the progress that your team's made?
We've made a ton of progress. It's a credit to these players and these coaches. They've been humble. They've worked hard every day. Guys have gotten better, and I think as a team overall, we understand kind of how we want to play better now than we ever have.
Watching some of the older guys that have been here and understand what you guys are trying to do, how have you liked how they've taken the reins on some of these things and helped some of these younger guys along?
They've been great. In the scrimmages, they've been out here with me, and as I say, the coaches can coach the technique and coaches can coach the assignments, but you need players coaching the standards. And these guys, those older guys have done that for us. And so we have a great senior group. It's one of the reasons why I believe we'll win.
All right, and I got to ask about the quarterbacks. Have you liked what you've seen out of them today?
Well, obviously, Dylan got to start off with a great drive, some explosive plays. Heinrich with a deep ball. And so, Danny just coming out here executing the offense. So we're really pleased with the guys. I mean, we can't have those 2 turnovers, but I think since then we've settled down. And sometimes you have to play in a crowd like this and play in a game like this to learn from it.
I just chatted with Amir Abdullah a little bit ago, and he obviously is a big fan of yours. You got the older alumni here, you got some younger guys here, but just the camaraderie here, how important is this for this program?
Well, we want our culture to be a brotherhood. We want us to our players to understand that they stand on the shoulders of the guys who came before them, but there'll also be someday there'll be players coming after them, and they have to understand that, hey, the way I leave this program is really important for the guys who follow me. And so I'm grateful for the players that we have, grateful for the teammates, the bond we have in the locker room, and I think when you walk in our building, it's a really healthy culture because of that.
What's next? What's the next chapter look like for this team to build off of what you guys did here in the spring?
I think it's looking back in the spring. It's meeting. It's going over, one-on-one each player, and then getting them here in the summer and having a great workouts, and letting those guys. Oh, look at Dante going. Letting those guys, really have a great summer where we can get the new players in, we can bond, we can get in the best shape of our lives, because this is going to be a challenging training camp. We got a lot to do this year.
We need to just let you take over play-by-play there. Coach, thanks, appreciate it.
Absolutely, great to see you.
Oh, that was fun. That was awesome. All right, we got to work at a final break here. Coming up next, we've got our weekend winners. And Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Not All Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Not All Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final few minutes here left of Sports Nightly tonight. We always like to close out our Monday night show with our weekend winners, and one of our winners could be Camden, because you stepped in and helped us out on the radio call of softball on Saturday in the doubleheader when it all got moved. How was that?
It was good. I thought it went really well, other than they lost, but
yeah,
it went well. Maddie Fowler Burkhart is excellent.
She's fantastic.
She did a great job helping me to feel comfortable doing it and reminding me of the reads and when I should read them and that kind of stuff. So it went really well, I thought.
That's awesome. Well, great job. And of course, Nate was doing all the announcing in the football stadium, so he couldn't make both. But so we had Camden, one of our interns, fill in, and he did a great job for us. Okay, got a couple minutes left, and Camden's got his and Greg's winners for the week.
Which one should I start with?
Whichever one.
All right, we'll start with Greg's then. Greg went with Tyus Wilson. He's a high jumper on the Nebraska track and field team, and he jumped 7.5, tied for first in the country, first in the NCAA, and fifth in school history at his meet this past weekend. So that was good. And then I'm going to stay on the softball note. I'm going to have my weekend winner be Taylor Edwards, who I know you talked with last week, but she had her ceremony for her jersey retirement over the weekend. And it was a really nice ceremony. A lot of her family was there. I know her twin sister talked. And it was just a good ceremony seemed like a well-deserving person, too.
Absolutely. She's so kind. Everything they say about her is absolutely true. She is so nice. Cole, who you got?
I'll head to the NBA for my winner.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards, helping the Suns secure their first playoff win in 20 years. Anthony had 40 points in the fourth game victory over the Suns. And I just like a team that has been, like with the Detroit Lions, a team that's been struggling for a while and finally gets to win. It's nice.
I like it. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, I am going to go with two winners. I'm sorry, I'm going to make the rules here for myself here today. First of all, Andy Harris, who is one of the OGs in the chat, hit a hole-in-one over the weekend, so congratulations. He can be one of the winners. The other one, and I know a couple people have said this in the chat as well, Shane being one of those, but Husker baseball and the way that they honored Greg yesterday, it was so cool. And Cole, I know you were on the broadcast. You're kind of getting teared up a little bit.
Yeah, it was terrific.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We've got baseball on the air tomorrow night and Wednesday night. We'll be back on Thursday with you. Have a great night, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 GMC Terrain SLE for $397 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. $0 due at signing. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit. Must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle to qualify. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh,